Hello viewers, today I want to show you how you can create Oracle procedures, stored procedures and triggers. Yes, so before we begin, let us open SQL Developer, and in opening SQL Developer, I have two tables that I'm going to use. One, I have a table called employee. Today, I want to use this table to create a procedure that can fetch for us the sum of all employees. Yes, if you don't have this table, I have previous videos where I explain how to connect to Oracle and how to use Oracle SQL Developer. You can watch on the channel and you'll be able to do it to access these codes. So here I open, and these are the values that we have for this, the record that we have in our table. So how do you create a procedure? You say create or replace procedure, then you give it a name, type or error procedure, maybe calc employee salaries. Then you use a keyword is, and then you type begin and end, specify the end of the body of the procedure. So whatever we need, we type it in the middle here. So the query that you want to run is the sum, select sum of salary from employees like that. So this code selects for last word the sum from the table of employees. If you run this code like this and you run, it will say there is an error. Yes, so we need to make sure we declare a variable that is going to store this output here for us. So here is where we declare a variable. Maybe we want sum of employees, then this is the number of 12. Terminate. So we want to store this value. We store this value here. So we say store select into, so it will store that value here. Next, we're going to make sure we output. We use the keyword called block dbms underscore output dot put underscore line, and then we output what is our salary. Hope the spelling, this one here, hope the spelling is okay. And here we are with dbms output dot put line. Hopefully it's okay. Let me run and see what will happen with this code. I clear the console, I run again, and we still have errors. Identify the dbms output line must be declared. This must be dbms output like this. Yes, yeah, it will have to run. Type error. So we run, and our procedure is working. So it is time to call the procedure. The same technique, begin and then end, then which us. So here we run come, and we do what? We call our procedure, which is called what? Calc. The procedure is called calc employees. So just like this, and terminate. So when we run this, the procedure will run. clear the console, and here we are, and we have our sum. Hope it is clear. If you want to add a message, you can come in this block and then you put a string. Sum of employees equals, then you concatenate using these operators. So we run again the procedure, and we run the calling block, and here we are with our sum of employee equals employee. I'm going to show you one more trick, and then I'll switch to the triggers and leave the procedures. If you want to pass parameters to the procedures and then maybe output information, output some variables, yes, a parameter that can receive parameters. What is a parameter? A parameter is a variable that you declare in when you are declaring or creating a procedure or a function. So how will we do that? You come here and we put the bracket or parenthesis, then we can declare variables here. Maybe you want to change our procedure. I can create completely the new procedure. I can leave this one alone, and then I create a new one that has parameters. So this one is going to do what? To fetch employee, fetch employee salary, like that. So we are going to pass what? Employee ID. I will call it a parameter param underscore emp ID. Then this one is going to be, you put in because you want to receive value, and this is a varchar, like that, just like that. So this is the varchar. Now we are going to modify our code, and we are going to put our where clause, where emp ID equals this one here. So there we are going to get our value. So we can go ahead and put param ID, and then we say, instead of sum, we can put this message here. Of course, now salary equals that. So we run this procedure again, not again the first time, and the procedure is compiled, and then you call this procedure, and you can, it's called fetch salary, and you can come and call it here like this. So here you're going to pass what? Pass an employee ID. So like employee, which is E001, and terminate. So when we run this, we will get the output. So E001 salary equals 100. So that is a procedure. I repeat, a procedure is like a stored routine where you can put your codes and then you execute them together. Procedures in Oracle are stored here. As you can see, these are tables, these are views. Then you have where you have function is. Then you have triggers. Shortly, I want to show you how to create triggers. And then we go where you can create what? Procedures. Minute. Procedures. Triggers, procedures are here. See, our procedures are here. So if you want to access a procedure, you come here, open, and you will be able to see the codes for the procedure. There is this one also here. This procedure is used to to get the salary of the according to designation. I will not go into that detail. In case you need more explanation, let me know from the comment section. But I'm going to repeat so that someone understands how the procedures work. Procedure you use create or replace procedure, then you give it a name. This one is the has the parameter. Then after parameter, you can pass a parameter to your query. Maybe there are things that I can talk about. What if you want to return a value from a parameter from a procedure? What do you do? Maybe let me talk about that shortly. Then I will go to the triggers. If you want to return values from a procedure, then you're going to come here, and then this one we're going to say add a parameter called what? Maybe this one is what is param output underscore salary. Now this one is going to be use the keyword out, and now this one is going to be what? It's going to be a number, still number, like that. So now you see, now this one you can come and you put it here, you put it into this, so you can do this. That means you can avoid this line, and you can also avoid this line, because now your procedure is returning a value. We are not outputting anything, so it will output this value when we call this procedure. So we run the code, and we run, and our procedure compiled successfully. Then after that, we come here, so we want to call our procedure again. This one is the employee ID. Then we need to put another variable that's going to be to fetch the value. So this one might be called salary or employee salary. Emp underscore salary, and then we want to come here, and of course we have to declare that variable using keyword what declare. So this way I put all the declaration. So emp, we put all of them here, emp underscore salary, and this is what this is a number, and we terminate just like that. So now we can go ahead and output this value here. So this one is this one here. Now this one is the salary that we have. So here we can go ahead and maybe we put what output the employee what ID, which we can still store, but for the sake of time, I will just output it here so that you see what is happening. You can just put it here, and then we put our like this, so it will display. So we remove this one and we put it here. So now we can run. Salary is complaining, so this one is not supposed to be there. It's supposed to be like that. So when we run and our code, we are going to have the output like this. So this is we have this as a parameter that return the value from this procedure. Yes, procedure is a storage thing. You run them in Oracle when you want to have code that you can call and use it whenever you want. For example, you might be developing a database for users and you don't want them to run raw SQL codes. So you can help them by designing for them, creating for them procedures that they will always be calling in case they are not so technical in SQL, so they can use procedures. Even SQL might be tedious to use, long codes and whatever, so you can store them into a procedure and then you can call them quite often as you want. Lastly, I want to show you, in case you need more clarification, please show in the comment section. I will give more explanation. I can even do another video to do more illustration. Now I'm going to show you how we can use triggers. Now triggers But before I go to triggers, in case you want to getting these outputs, please, these outputs, you make sure you put a command called what? Set server output on. So there you'll be able to do it. You run this code in Visual Studio Code, you'll be able to do it to see the outputs here, just in case you're not getting it. So now back to the triggers. So triggers. So trigger is like something that you can, this is a code that can run when certain events occur on a table. For example, delete, update, insert. Triggers are important in a way that, take an example, you have a system, financial database, and it is a bank. Maybe perhaps someone deletes a record accidentally, and then you have no way to do it to revert that action. So that could be tedious, be a big mess. So you can use triggers, and then triggers can save some data wherever you delete. Also, when you update, maybe you have a system, maybe it is a result management system for students, and they have results in a university or in a school, and then marks are changing. Someone inserts a marks, another person comes and changes the marks. So you can use trigger to enforce the security in a way that whenever marks change, then you keep the logs into your database. And that is exactly what you're going to do. Now, when you're going to work with students, you're going to work with employees, but you want to make sure whenever something is updated, then we store that into a log table. I have created a table called what? Employee update logs. This one here. I have the code straight here. For those that might be interested in this code, you can either pause the video, or I can provide the code in the comment section, and then you'll be able to access the code. This is the code that creates our table called employee logs, update logs. Yes, now we're going to create a trigger, and the trigger is attached to a table that you want to activate. You want to handle of which event you want to handle. For example, I have a sample code here for trigger that I want to get. For interest of time, so that we can do it. We can try to actually, I will use this one here. Try to save time. Yes, and not make the video too long. So I come here, and then I get this trigger. So trigger is here. This is how the trigger, my trigger, I can read the trigger. If old, remember when you are talking with triggers, when you are inserting, whenever for the event that happen on a table, there are always two values, more so the delete and insert. There is an old value when you are deleting, and then there is when you are updating new value that is there within the row, and then you have the old value and the new value that you want to change. Then if you are inserting, you have a new value. Then if you are deleting, you have the old value that you have done what? You have deleted. For the interest of time, I'm going to show you how you can handle update event. You will try out others. So you use the keyword create or replace trigger. So this is the name of the trigger. So we are after update on table called what? Employees. So put your keyword on each row, and then you give what? The begin, and then end. So I want this trigger to be conditional in a way that if you have one is only one, there is a change in the values. So all the value is the value that is inside. So you see all the value that you are changing, then it has the column called salary. If it is not equal to new value, then you can run the insert into employee logs, and then you specify the columns. These columns are in our table. This one here, this table here, ID, PK, affected field, or the value, new value, then the time performed. These are what These are the values, the columns. So we go ahead and call them. Insert into employee table logs, table name, PK, affected fields, or the value, new value, and then the action. But since we are handling update, then the action I won't remove it because I remember I have removed that column from this table. We don't have action here, so we can remove action just like this. So now we have employee ID for the event table. We have to remove table. I don't need table anymore. So we are handling the primary key column, which is the PK, then affected field is the salary, then we have all the value. The table is salary, the field is salary, then all the value and new value, and then we can run out our code. We want to make sure this trigger only works when there is a new change. Let us run our trigger and then test it. I'll provide the code so that you can test it out on your own time. So you run the trigger and here it is. So this is an update trigger. It handles an event on on update. So let us straight away get a code because of them. It's going to help us do update some value. Let me get both of them so that we can after I can get all these three lines. I run them one by one for interest of time. So I come here down and I run my codes. The first one is this one. I want to see which values we have in employees. So we have employee 10 and up to 4. So yes. So we're going to work with employee number 4 who is having 900. First of all, let me first change 900 to 1 million and update code command. So we run. So an update. Yes, one row updated. Now we're going to go to our this is the table for our logs. So we select and then here we are. Employee ID, salary has changed from 900 to 1 million, and this is the date and the time. Now so look, what if we run this code again? Remember now we are running an update code, but there is no change. We run, we updated, we select again, we have one record that is updated. See, one record. So that's the use of this if. For example, we want to change employee number 3, and maybe want to change him to another value. Maybe want to give him this value, 600. So we run the code, update, and we select from this table with our logs, and we have our two values indicated. This is all the value, this is new value. So that's how a trigger works. I repeat again, go back to my trigger and I show you how it works. Create or replace trigger employees. After update employees for each row, then we do this. Now I'm only handling one row, but you can go ahead and handle other rows. For example, if you want to handle another row, maybe it is what what first name. So you can come here and you say now I want to handle. So you use the keyword else if else if and then we open else if all the value. So we are now handling what f name not equal to f name. So we want to handle f name. So I'm gonna copy this code up here and I'm gonna come and put it in our new block. So come put it in the new block and we are here. So now the column that we are working with is f name no longer l name. Then we want to make sure we are saving we are saving f name and we are saving f name and then fname. Yes, hopefully it works. Or we have to put the else if then we what are we doing? This is not supposed to be here, and this is not supposed to be here. How to remove all this? Then we put here keyword what? Then yes, here our error now goes. Yes, let us now we have to put a comma here, and we have to what could be the problem? If or name not equal, then insert into, and if something not right, something not right, and if else if or the value not equal, insert into values, something not right. I'm trying to looking for what could be the problem here. Code is terminated. Else if this is not equal to this, still nothing. Insert two logs. What could be the problem? Old dot fname, new dot lname. The code seems to be right. The trigger name, employee logs. Else if or you ought to remember that this is called L if, not else if. L if, L if, L if. It is L if. L if, and we run. Code compiled successfully, and then you come here. Now we want to update. We want to update this time. We want to update salary and what? Salary. We want to update salary. We want to update fname. Fname equals to what? To Daniel. So we run our query, update it successfully. So we query again, and here we are. All the value Mwanguzi, all the value Daniel, and this is the first name. Please note that this log file is handling all the columns within the table. So the technique that I used is that I created these values, the columns for the columns for all these new values to be virtual, so that they can work for integers, numbers, and then characters. In the case we want to do mathematical operation, I can always convert them back to what? To numbers, and then I can use that. Yes. So that is it. Our trigger is working perfectly, and then if you want more columns, you continue doing what? Doing L if, and then you will be able to do it to handle all the columns, and you'll be able to have the logo within your table into a database. Again, if you have an issue, you want to inquire, you want to meet to clarify on an issue, go ahead and do it and put in the comment section. I will be glad to offer you help and explain the details about how these triggers and procedures work. Thank you for listening. Please, if you like the video, go ahead, like, comment, share, and subscribe. Yes, that's all.